You were tuned in to episode 154, 154, the Goodfellas podcast. Your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. And I got my main man with me, my man Boxing First Vlog. What's going on, good brother?
Oh man, another day to break this boxing game down to the sweet science that it really is. You feel me? You know we the
Yeah,
best in the business. That's what we love to
absolutely.
hate us. I seen your boy.
Absolutely.
I ain't really want to get on his helmet that day, bro. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. That disrespect. I'm taking it as more you fucking with me than I'm taking it you fucking with me. You get it?
Is this a off camera discussion? I don't know who you're
Nah,
talking
that
about.
was the boy from you said the boy from Philly. He was in there talking about I don't know what I'm talking about with boxing, and I'm like, bro,
Oh,
I don't forgot more than you know, Playboy. Like, don't do that to yourself, man. But we
I
can
haven't.
chop game and keep everything respectful, though. You know what I mean? That's all I do. But I like, the finger cats. You know what I mean? They be letting they fingers get reckless
Yeah,
and
I
shit.
haven't. I told him I was going to shoot him a link. That was a couple days ago, though. So we'll see how
Nah,
we'll see how it play
he don't
out.
get no link. He don't get no okay from me.
All
You
right,
gotta come
well,
in, you know what I mean, with a little bit more respect than that, bro. Don't do that.
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But big shout out to everybody, man. Big shout out to VP Shane. Big shout out to Ty Finney, the legend, and all the family. You know what I'm saying? But we got a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. We're not gonna get to the meat and the potatoes just yet. And of course, that Spence Thurman at 154 pounds kind of got the boxing streets very divided in regards to whether that fight makes sense. People like it, people don't like it. But we're going to get into that. But we got a top rank card coming up this Saturday. Solid card. Solid card, man. We got F.A. Ajagba versus Stephen Shaw. We also got your boy Johnny Rice on the card.
Favorite
Um,
coming in the favorite position. I like that. I like that. Finally giving my guy the respect he's earned. I feel like.
Well, and it's surprising because he's a it's a last minute replacement, not in terms of him not having a fight, but the opponent. So that's definitely a credit to Johnny Rice. You know what I'm saying, coming in as a favorite under those conditions. So and then they added a Shushu on that card too. So they just
Yeah.
added him on that card a couple days ago. So that's a solid card. Top Rank does a really good job of putting together really solid cards, man, from top to bottom. A lot of times they won't have that superstar smash hit, but they give you a bunch of solid radio joints you can play. You know what I'm saying? Like I really like what Top Rank be doing, man. Like real solid work by them. What do you think of the Ajagba and Shaw fight? It's an interesting fight, man.
I'm curious. I'm Shaw is uh, not super spectacular, but he's efficient at being a boxer, undefeated, obviously. So but I find it interesting that we know the power puncher, the naturally stronger punching guy, is an underdog, not a heavy underdog, but he's an underdog, and I think he's more of the promotion's house guy in this situation because they quietly been moving Shaw. I think I've only seen Shaw maybe twice in the last 3 years on Top Rank. So they haven't really been advertising him, but obviously he signed to them. So, but I find it interesting that the power puncher is the underdog in this one. Not the sharper boxer. I'm gonna give the edge to Shaw on that one, but it's still a fight to me. I mean, because we don't know if Shaw can deal with that power.
That's a great point. That's exactly where I'm at with it. This is classic boxer versus puncher. You can see Shaw has the obvious hand speed advantage, foot speed advantage. You know, those things are obvious. But when you're a boxer and you're facing a power puncher, the first question you have to ask is what's going to happen when he get caught with that shot. And then you know what's going to happen at some point during the fight where he's going to have to take a shot. Now it may not be a pure money shot, but just when you taking shots from F.A. Ajagba, there's every shot is going to hurt. So it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts. If he can't react well to it, guys' game plans change right in the middle of the fight.
One thing I could say about real quick between the two, we definitely gonna give Shaw the defensive edge. I mean, his shell defense, he's pretty solid with that. Can FA really hurt him through the guard to make him drop the guard? You know what I'm saying? Can he get something to the body? So, their game plan is going to be important on how to get that power home. So, I mean, it's a very good fight. Very good fight. Now, with my guy Johnny Rice and his situation, I think he just needs to really shine in that fight. I think he needs to take a real, big leap forward as being one of those prospects you can't keep overlooking, or not prospect, but contenders you can't keep overlooking. Don't call him. He's not that guy that you call at the last minute anymore, because he's a guy that can take your whole steam away from you. So he's in a different position than he was from a couple years ago. So I think he needs to really cement himself in that position of being that guy that, deserves a real good look at a money fight, serious money fight. Not I mean, I just think he's more deserving of this fight. But if you're going to get these type of fights, make it count, as you did when you upset, the Polites and these other guys like that. So just got to make it count.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this card, man. This is a solid,
solid card. We got the other fight on there I wanted to talk about real quick too. You got Lopez. That is it's a crossroads. It's a crossroads fight in my estimation, because one of those guys is taking a back seat to the title shot scenario. Like you definitely taking 2 steps back if you lose that fight. And that's even for Lopez, because if you look at Lopez's situation, he got to give me in that last fight. A lot of people say, I kind of lean that way. I'm not sure if he won the fight, but I can see you giving it to him at the same time. You know what I mean? And then we Nova coming off obviously a knockout loss. 126 is trying to make some noise. We're hearing about the boy from over in Japan, the Monster, may be moving up. So what I mean? You want to position yourself to try to get one of those big names at 126, and a win in this particular fight for either one of them is solid. And if loss could be a major step back, especially for promotion looking at you. You know what I mean? They might start feeding you people now. You could be dinner for everybody else, and you don't want to be that guy in boxing, really.
Yeah, definitely. Just to run down the lineup, man, we got F.A. Ajagba versus Stephen Shaw. Now that fight's going down this Saturday, January 14th at the Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York. Kind of disappointed that it's there, because it's just a lot. It's really hard to get there. That's a really long trip. Even if you in New York, that's a long trip, because you basically going to the other side, basically. And then you got Johnny Rice versus Guido Vianello, and he's 10-0 with 9 knockouts, Italian Olympian. Then we also have who else is on that card? We got Supernovas on that card as well, which Blunt just discussed. And we're missing, they don't have it on here, but Shushu will be on this card, but I'm on this Top Ranks website, and they haven't updated it yet. So let's see. My guy Bruce Gas in the building, man. Salute to you, family. Salute to you. Ty Finney in the building. He says salute. A lot of news. Cool Boy and Brandon Figueroa rematch. I'll try and jump on. Yeah, just if you can, bro. That's cool. Yeah, it's a solid card. It's a solid card, for sure. And then January is pretty lit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got Chris Eubank Jr., Beefy coming up. We got Under the Radar, Baturbiev and Yard. That's coming up. So we got a lot of, a lot of nice matchups. 2023. Got a lot of nice, and this is with the Charlo cancellation. So this is solid. This is solid so far. So definitely looking forward to those.
You bought it up, man. You bought it up, bro. Can we get into it? Let's
All right, let's
you
get into
brought
the
it
meat
up.
and
You
potato.
brought
Let's get
you threw the man name out there. You know, lit
yeah,
the fire.
let's
I'm
get
hot. I'm hot. I've been on
let's
Twitter
get
getting
into
busy.
let's
Let's
get
do it.
into the meat and potatoes of this whole podcast, man. They have made it official. Errol Spence Jr. will be going up against Keith one time Thurman in April. And the surprising news is that it is going to be at a 154 pounds. No belts, no nothing. Just Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman in April. I know we both heard this news way before, but they made it official. Vlog, just go.
This fight, in my estimation, won't do any numbers.
Okay.
If you don't have the right seat around this fight, it won't do any numbers, bro. Because no one's clamoring for this fight, especially at 154, when neither one of these guys kind of dip their feet in the 154. So you usually get a little cupcake or something, wet your feet, and then you try to take on a name or whatever. Or unless you're a name coming into the division already, sometimes you get, a big fight, sort of like that. But I don't like it, bro. I don't like it. It doesn't do anything for me as a boxing fan. Like
Um,
at 154, if it was at 147, people can argue Thurman deserving. People can argue Spence ducking, blah, blah, blah. Makes more boxing sense, more conversational sense, more what's the outcome? You know what I mean? Then we can get into can Spence beat Thurman or can Thurman beat Spence? We can start talking that because it makes more sense. When you jump this fight to a division that neither one of these guys have got their feet wet in it. They don't make no sense. It's a bunch of built-in excuses already. If one guy looks bad, oh, it's not my weight. I didn't plan to carry the weight. I didn't know how I was going to carry it. You see, I was sluggish, blah, blah, blah. But it's a bunch of built-in excuses at 154, bro. And then what's going to happen if he wins the fight? Do your name get thrown out there as a shot at undisputed for your campmate? I don't like that scenario, even though I believe that he'd probably take that fight. I don't think they're as close as people might outsiders think they are because they share the same trainer. I really think he'd take that fight to avoid history going against him at 147. And
yeah.
this is Spence I'm speaking of. So if y'all not with
Yeah.
me, I think just anything at 154 is disrespect to Charlo. When you're coming into 154 and you're not talking about him, you're not gauging your path towards him. So I mean, again, I was on Twitter and people were saying it's a good fight is a good fight no matter what weight class. And that could be true, but at the same time, if there's a king in that weight class, that king should be getting the attention, not two dudes jumping into his division trying to make a splash amongst themselves. You can't make a splash in my division. I make the splash. You got to come see me. You did PBC, man. They've been bugging with this shit, man. They not making the fight with the boy Crawford once he was free and things like that. That didn't make any sense. You could always fall back. Well, can't do business with Bob Arum, blah, blah, blah. That's your fallback if that fight never happens. Bob Arum's out the picture. There should be no reason that fight doesn't happen. Now you got this guy who y'all been kind of coddling, and I'm gonna say that with all due respect, even though it was a tough fight against Ugas, kind of been cakewalking a little bit, you know what I mean, through that 147 title run, you know what I mean. I don't even think the Brook fight.
How my man gonna cut off in mid go? Only vlog, yo. I'm not listen. Let me get into the comments real quick. This is what happens live, man. Dawn Jenkins, the gotcha gamer. Big shout out to you, family. He said Earl Spence 4154 before. How you go off in mid go, bro?
Bro, man, bro. I had to put the studio in the garage, and I'm
I'm like,
hella far
what?
from the fucking joint, bro.
Nah,
They
that's
just should
cool,
be
man.
doing
Go
that,
ahead.
bro. I
Go
was
ahead.
doing
Continue
my
to cook.
whole couple of weeks ago, and my motherfucking whole I lost a whole report I was doing, bro. I was in here hot. I had to start this shit all over again because I didn't save anything. So when the internet kicked me off the bro, this trip, bro. So I
Nah,
apologize to
that's
everybody,
cool.
bro. I
Don't
was
worry
in
about
mid
it. Go
split
ahead,
up.
bro. Go
I
ahead.
forgot my
Yeah.
thought and everything. I'm highly upset right now. But again, bro, anything happening in 154 with any other name fighter, such as a Thurman, such as a Spence, there should be conversation that involves the undisputed, truly undisputed king of 154. Come on, bro. I don't get it.
Well, what
Why?
kind of
What
discussion you want for them to have?
is this fight? Does a winner come out as a challenger? It should be something set up like that. It should have been already discussed. Like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm
I,
looking to make that move, not throw it on the fans and we just supposed to accept it, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I just
well,
don't like it at
the,
154, bro. I just
the
don't.
only the only reason I wasn't mad they didn't mention Charlo's name is because he's injured and he already has a fight lined up, even when he gets off an injury. And on top of that, Spence and Charlo got the same trainer. And Thurman is Thurman just don't fight that much. So it's just I definitely understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong one bit. It's just there's so many things that's on the floor right now to where I don't want Charlo's name to get lost in the mix, but the earlier he can recover and get that zoo fight out of the way, the better. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be out of sight, out of mind real quick.
Not
In
if
this
you
short.
undisputed, you can. Not if you undisputed. They got to come
Well,
see you.
well,
Not if you
yeah, but he
undisputed.
has. Well, I'll say this: he has a certain level of momentum right now, and he don't want to lose his
And
momentum off of inactivity.
I
I'll
give
say
you
that.
that too, but at the same time, the consistency we've gotten from him for the past 2 years has probably been the best of all the name fighters outside of the run that Haney been on, somewhat what Tank's been doing. I gotta give PBC that they do lay out the carpet for the stars, but the rest of the guys aren't getting the packaged work the way that I think Charlo's run has been one of the best in boxing in the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, he's been on a Charlo been on a nice run, man. Like he's definitely been on a nice run. Dawn Jenkins, big shout out to Dawn Jenkins. Said Errol Spence fought at 154 before it was 152. That was in the amateurs, and he had one fight at 156, and that was before the Brook fight. But he's been mainly 147 his whole career, basically. But I hear you though.
But DJ, we say we it doesn't make any sense because it's unfinished business at 147. So why are you taking a fight at 154? There's unfinished business. There's challengers. You had a challenge. You had a challenger so avoided. He went to another network and got a deal to make a big fight, a semi big fight. Virgil Hill staying on the situation. You got Boots in the limbo. Now he's getting clowned because none of these people that are making moves like going to other divisions and leaving unfinished business on the table is the backlash is going to Boots. But how is Spence not getting any backlash for taking this fight at 154? Even if you took Thurman at 147, there's a different argument. It's not the argument that you're leaving the unfinished business. You're walking away from business not handled, just leaving it on the table. Like, come on, bro. Like, clean up your food and shit. Don't sit down and eat and make a mess and don't clean up. Like, he done made a mess of 147 and then you gonna go jump to 154. That's cap, bro. That's hella cap, bro. I don't get it. I don't understand why he's as a fighter saying, yo, let's do that. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me unless you're having weight issues. If you're having weight issues, say that. Say I'm dropping these belts. I can't make the weight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My man Willie G in the building said, "Long time, gentlemen. Happy New Year." Willie
Same
G,
to you,
man,
my guy.
good. He said you ain't paid the internet bill neither, bro.
Shut your ass up. No, check
Oh
it out.
man.
Check it out. I'm gonna say this and be honest with y'all. Wifey work at home, bro, and she got like 2 computers cracking in that joint, bro. So
Oh yeah,
it
if you got
take
too
it,
many
it
devices pulling from it, I got you.
no, it ain't even. It's just how big them processes is because she do state work and shit, and you
Okay.
know that shit is major pull on the joint. Because I'm looking at my bars right now. I'm down to 3, so I hope I don't get kicked
Okay.
out again.
Yeah, we're gonna try to keep it light though. DJ said, salute fam. Charlo don't want those problems, fam. The negative energy should be stressed toward Crawford. I Let me get through the rest of these comments because I need to go on this. I really need to go on this. DJ said, I'm glad he did because how was this title reign weak? Um, I think that's towards you, Blunt. He said, I think he's speaking to when you said Spence has been coddled a little bit.
Okay, you got the Mikey Garcia situation. You got the Danny Garcia situation. Ugas to a certain extent. To a certain extent, but I think Ugas was probably his toughest fight outside of it. Not even Kell Brook, because Kell Brook was at the tail end of things going on with himself. So not the greatest run to almost undisputed. Not the greatest run.
Um, I will
I'm gonna
say
say this: it's better than Canelo's. Say that.
I agree.
His
I agree with that.
unified run is better than Canelo's.
I agree with that. Willie G. Spence is my guy, and don't agree with the 154-pound move right now. Jaguar, what's going
Thank you.
on?
Thank
Good
you.
afternoon,
Thank you.
guys, and good boxing talk as always. Big shout out to you, Jaguar. It's been a
Thank
minute.
you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm about to go off for the next like 5 minutes, so
Do your
just bear
thing.
with me.
I'm gonna kick back in.
Listen, I have so many problems with this situation. And my main problem is this is the prime example of why not only myself but Vlog and Shane, we all say the same thing. Like we just want the smoke to be distributed evenly. If it don't matter who you like and who you don't like, when they on some bullshit, yo, call it. That's all we ask, yo. Like that's all we ask. So the fact that Spence's people are trying to justify this fight, I they're trying to justify this fight by saying, "Well, look what Crawford did, so we're gonna turn around and do the same thing." If that's not the biggest piece of bullshit, like I mean, this is terrible, bro. Terrible. First of all, it makes Spence look bad for several reasons. Number one, you said that you would never fight Keith Thurman out of your own mouth about 50 times. You said you will never fight Keith Thurman. Okay, so that's happening. Second thing, the fact that you are fighting Keith Thurman, anybody that want to say that Spence is his own boss, throw that shit in the backyard and close the gate. He's not his own boss, bro. Al Heyman runs that show, and if this ain't proof, y'all need to look in the mirror. Y'all need to look in the mirror. Point blank, period. Number three, this fight is at 154 pounds. If I had to watch this fight, I'd rather for it to be for all the marbles, all the belts. So y'all gonna fight in a whole new weight class. There's no belts on the line. Like this, this is just basically a fight that should have happened 5 years ago. Like, why are we justifying this? Like, why are we justifying this? Then point number four, Keith Thurman is ice cold in these streets. Freezer cold, deep freezer cold in these streets. Nobody's checking for Keith Thurman. And people are bringing up them two going back and forth and going at it 4 or 5 years ago. Like, that's like a blunt. That's like you had like a rival or something, right? In your neighborhood. And that, and they moved. You know what I mean? They moved and they came back to your hood like 5 years later, and people thinking the energy gonna be the same. was 5 years ago. Like we done moved on from that. Like this is exactly what this is. This is
I agree.
exactly what this is.
I
Like
agree.
like those old arguments and all of that. This was when both of y'all had belts at 147. The last time they had an argument, bro, Floyd was still a fighter
You know what
before the
this?
exhibitions.
This is like trying to kick up smoke between Mitch Blood Green and Mike Tyson again. Like, bro,
I,
what's dead is dead, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
bro,
You
I,
can't rehash it and make it a new flame. If it's
yo,
burnt out, it's burnt out.
it's burnt out. I literally, I listened to, it was a live today. Big shout out to Mill City Boxing, Mad Scientist, big shout out to Mad Scientist, and my guy, Ohio Runs Boxing was on there. He had an interesting comment. He said he thinks the fight at 154. He said he think not only is because Spence has a hard time making 147, but he said he think it's strategic for Thurman. I'm not even gonna give Spence that credit. I'm not gonna give Spence that credit. So I'm supposed to believe that the top dog at 147 pounds is gonna move up to 154 pounds to be strategic over somebody that's ice cold in these streets. Nah, not believing it. Not
Now,
believing it.
now,
Not at
let
all.
me let me. Now, if they want to go the route that they needed another name, there are other names that would have made sense to give
More
them that
sense.
opportunity. Better BF, but Batayev, get my dude name right, Batayev. Even if you wanted to give Jamal James a look, you could have did a lot of other things at 147 to stay on the same pace you was on at 147. You wasn't taking on the elite of the elites. So, because Boots been out there on the winning streak. So, at any point in time, when you got a second belt, you could have been like, yo, let's give that dude a look, that undefeated guy. You know what I mean? That don't nobody really know about. Whoop-de-whoop. You know what I'm saying? So, there's names on the roster you guys could have went after at 147 if he's not having a problem with the weight. And if he's having a problem with the weight, could that be why he wanted the ultimate deal with the Crawford fight? Like, look, just all the marbles at 147, not literally for just the belt, but as far as where my career is going to be going. So if I'm going to take this dive and push this to make this weight and be in condition and make this fight exciting fight, he wants out deal. I kind of can get that in that scenario. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not being honest and saying that's the scenario, then a fight like this tells me that probably was the scenario.
Yeah, I just this is terrible. Like I don't know how else to say it, man. It's
Okay, answer me a
terrible,
question. Man. I'm reading
Yeah.
tweets yesterday, or excuse me, early this morning, because I work overnight,
Right.
so I was Twitter bombing like 5 in the morning. But anyway, my time, Central Time, USA. That said, I'm reading a lot of tweets where people are like, yo, the matchup is still there. And at this point in their careers, there's one fighter that I think is more sound in what he does, and one guy that we still questioning his power. Is he really moving like he was 5 years ago? Like, you know what I mean? It kind of almost looks like a lopsided fight. Honestly,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like a lopsided fight. I'm not impressed with the matchup per se
Yeah.
at this point in time in their careers. So now you want Spence to come in as the younger, bigger dude? Even bigger dude?
So it like I wasn't a big fan. Let me make this clear, because whenever you talk Spence, people think you gotta be pro Spence or team Spence or team Crawford. Let me make this very clear for everyone that's listening. I didn't like the Bud move with Avanesian. I understood it, but I didn't like it. This Spence move is more puzzling than the Bud move.
I
And
see.
I'm
That's
going to
where.
tell you why. Let me tell you why real quick,
Go
bro.
ahead.
Um, number like you said, there's other people in his own backyard he could have went and got. First of all, Stan Jonas and Virgil Ortiz is off. He could have went and got Stan Jonas. He's in house. And Stan Jonas is initially the person that should have been getting the shot anyway. He should have been getting the shot anyway. Because he the one that stepped aside so Ugas, so so the Spence Pacquiao fight could happen, and then Spence got hurt, and then it turned into Ugas Pacquiao. Stan Jonas was the initial person that stepped aside. So Stan Jonas is older shot. So his fight with Virgil Ortiz is off. They could have went and got him. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Boots just fought Saturday. If you're talking about coming back in April, it ain't like Boots took any punishment or anything. You owe Boots a fight. Could have came and got Boots. You know what I'm saying? Could have came and got Boots. Could have got a Batayev. You could have got a Jamal James. All within your wheelhouse and within the division.
And not pricey. None of them names we mentioned, at least the last three in Boots, because people keep saying Boots is back, so it's not pricey. Obviously, Jamal James, not pricey. Batayev, not pricey. So you could have made these pay-per-view events, obviously selling everything around Spence, being the main draw like they do with Tank, and gave us a decent fight at 147.
Yeah, could have gave us a nice roundabout card.
Gave us an Adonison style fight at 147. Somebody that's respectable, somebody that's accomplished some things. Adonison had been. To me, I don't think that was a bad choice. To me, I thought it was a great choice. That is in the realm, in your will. You've been fighting a lot of these foreign guys that have, have respectable styles and decent records. Now, he's not fighting a bunch of dudes from overseas that's 24-5. You know what I mean? He's fighting some dudes undefeated, some guys that coming off some big wins, things like that. So I don't think the Adonison fight as a fallback was a bad move. And you had to test the waters as far as the new network, the new streaming site. So go with an international name. Maybe we can get draws from, overseas and at home. So I think that was a decent move from a business perspective and from a boxing perspective, because he had to have a fallback. You know what I mean? And he just fell right back into his wheelhouse, fighting the mean machines and those type of guys. So the Postals and those type of guys. So I don't think the Adonison fight was a bad move for Crawford if he couldn't get the deal. But him saying he'll take whatever deal that is being said, he said that. I've read that. I haven't heard it from his mouth. But he'll take whatever deal that they offer right now is, I don't know. It's like you're back against the wall and you ain't got no other choice, because what's his next move? Is he going to do something similar? You know what I'm saying? Or is he going to honestly look at the winner, look at a Stan Jonas or look at a Virgil? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It gives, I think Spence doing this gives Bud more options.
To be honest with you, bro, I'm more confident now than I was a week ago that this fight ain't happening. Spence Crawford ain't happening, man. This where I'm at.
Can we say that?
I'm gonna say this. I just don't see the point of it. The only thing if Spence wins, Spence be the dude he was supposed to beat 5 years ago. There was no belts on the line, none of that. He basically just went and got a check. If he struggles in this fight or even loses the fight, it wasn't his division. All this and all that. Like you said earlier, there's built-in excuses with this, win or loss. There's built-in excuses all across the board, and there's built-in excuses for both of them. It's just, I have more of a problem with this fight than I do the Bud and Avanesian fight. At least with Avanesian, people can think what they want of Avanesian. At least he was a top 5, top 6 fighter in the sanctioning body at the time that he got the fight. At least he was top 5, top 6 in the sanctioning body. And it was still in the weight class. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't like neither matchup, but I like just Thurman's out of his prime. He's out of his prime, and people trying to justify this fight. Y'all trying to justify Earl Spence right now versus the old Thurman. That's what y'all trying to do. Because I'm like, the Thurman that showed up against Barrios, he gets mopped by Spence. He gets mopped. Like, I just need for people to keep that same energy, man. Like, bad matchups are bad matchups. And if anybody says that this is just a tune-up fight, then I don't need to see this on pay-per-view. Tune-up shouldn't be, or stay busy fight shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Am I wrong on that?
What do you think? No, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, bro. I don't want us to seem harsh. I just want this to come out as honest as paying boxing fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, they hit me off at the wrong time on the last pay-per-view. Like, come on, bro, y'all scheduling don't make sense when y'all want casuals tuning in. Then y'all got to understand how casuals money be moving too. You see what I'm saying? So in a situation like this, you got to take into the fact, is this something that the fans want to see? If the fans don't want to see it, who you think gonna pay for it?
This undercard better be. There's a very slim chance.
That's what I was going to ask you.
There's a slim chance.
What name?
You know what, bro? You know
can help this card, can help this main event fight.
Let me answer that, bro. You know what's gonna happen? We gonna get a bullshit. We gonna get a bullshit undercard because both of these dudes command so much money. Then they're not gonna have enough money to put no beef on the undercard.
That leads into my second part. What is the payday for Thurman, based on the fact that we're analyzing him as an ice cold fighter?
At least two. At least three. At least three. Yeah.
So that means Spence probably looking at what, 8?
Maybe. No, I don't know. Let me get my guy here, man. Ty Finney, the legend in the building, man. Big shout out to you, bro. What's up with you?
What's up, man?
Playboy. Let me get on camera for the Playboy partner, man. I'm in here smoking, but I'm be on.
Salute, camera. Man.
Yeah, we cooking up on this Spence and Thurman situation. I just expressed my unhappiness with it. Yeah, there you go. Disdain. What you think, Legend? Talk to me.
My heart, I already knew that fight was gonna be next. I just knew it.
But at 154, what's your thoughts at the 154? I think that's new.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, man. Like you say, moving up in weight, it's no belts on the line. So this is an Al Heyman move, man. I don't know what the move is, but it's an Al Heyman move.
Bro, that's perfectly said, man. This is an Al Heyman move, and it's just I hear so many fans that are pro Spence versus pro Crawford. The main argument you heard is that Spence is the A side, Spence is the boss. When the last time you seen a boss take a fight and he ain't want to take it? That means he's not a boss. Period. That means he's not a boss. At least with Crawford, when he decided to fight Evanesian, he made that decision on his own. Whether you a Bud fan or not, he made that decision on his own. Bob Arum ain't make it for him. Al Heyman ain't make it for him. And nobody else made it for him. He had that lined up in the cut, and he decided to make that move. Errol Spence is literally taking a fight that everybody knows he didn't want. So all of that boss stuff and all this and all that, throw that out the window. We're going to have to come up with new reasons why Spence and Crawford's not happening. You can't say, oh, well, Spence this, Spence that. Like, you are literally taking a fight that you didn't want at a weight class that I'm pretty sure he didn't want to go to 154 like right now, because if he really wanted the Crawford fight, he like, why am I fighting at 50? This fight makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense.
Let me. If we saying this is an Al Heyman situation, the only way I see this working is him putting Spence in a bunch of pay-per-view situations that obviously have no belt on the line, but that build up and that anticipation of him possibly fighting Charlo or the Tim Tszyu or who, you know, the winner of that situation. And a lot of the fights being all the past Charlo defeated guys, or maybe guys that Fundora beat. You see what I'm saying? I think that could be like the move they want to do, since they don't want to kill his legacy at 154, and they can rebuild him kill his legacy at 147 with possible loss to Crawford, possible loss to Boots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe one of those only being a big money fight. And then second, if you do that at 154, it does make business sense, because he should be able to beat the Harrisons. He should be able to beat the boy that Fundora just beat. What's your boy name from you've seen him in Reading? You know, he was in tough with Fundora. Damn, what's his name?
Oh yeah, I forgot his name. I know you're talking about though.
Yeah, but that's a good fight though. You know what I mean? Him and Spence at 154. That's a good fight. It's just some other guys at 154 that make sense, even if you're bringing them in pay-per-view situations. I think that's the move that they're trying to do, because you got to find a way to keep him at pay-per-view star. This might not be the best splash of Thurman, but I think they think Thurman's name still got some kind of steam that it don't have. That's what I believe. It's a business move without killing his legacy. You see what I'm saying?
If this is my personal opinion. Let me get in the comments real quick before they get out of hand. Let me see. Willie G said I would justify the fight if it was at 147 for the belts. I still would feel horrible about it, but it'd be
it'd make more sense.
Not as bad. It'll make more sense. Too. I agree with that, Willie G. Jaguar said with the evidence as it comes out, it shows that Crawford has stood up and waited, I guess, for Earl Spence. It's somehow avoiding. It's just sad when talented boxers have no confidence. So Jaguar, I'm gonna say this.
Look
bro.
At it, duck.
All that
said duck.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, bro. There's been obstacles put in place that are absolute facts that I'm gonna mention, and nobody can dispute this. When Bud came to the division, Spence said, "Go get a belt." We're clear on that? That's what he said, right? When he first came up to 147, he said, "Get a belt first." Bud gets a belt. Then he says he's on the wrong side of the street. Okay, cool. It's not on the wrong side of the street anymore. They negotiate. He gets offered rumored 35% of a non-guaranteed number. Right? Non-guaranteed number. And all I heard was Spence is the A side. Crawford should take whatever peanuts he can get just to get the fight. And then he turns around and does the most unboss move you can possibly make, and taking a fight at 154 pounds against a dude that everybody knows you don't want to fight. It's just a bad look all the way around.
Isn't it too, bro? I think the fight is uncompetitive. Now that I'm really looking at it, it's uncompetitive.
Bro, here's the thing about that. I didn't get to that. Here's the thing. Even though we have this vision that Spence can do the same thing at 154 pounds, this is the first time we're going to see him at 154 officially. Thurman, he's been known for fighting at bigger weights, like in it going from the amateurs and all that. He got footage with Andrade and all that in the amateurs, but this is going to be his first time campaigning, against top level competition in a new weight class. When you got two guys that are upper echelon guys, and both of these guys are introducing themselves to a new weight class against an upper echelon guy, them results can get a little shaky. We don't know what we're going to see that night. In my opinion, we don't know what we're going to see that night.
I think what we're going to see, to me, is the styles are not the same. If you look early, the style matchup makes sense. Spence being the come forward type of fighter, Thurman back then being a guy that could stick and move a little bit, you know what I'm saying? That made sense. Now we talking bigger weight. To me, style-wise, suits Spence, what he does in the ring. The extra 7-8 pounds going benefit his style more than a guy like Thurman, who's been, again, sluggish, not moving as well from even the Pacquiao fight. Barrios was getting to him a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So you put some more weight on that older fighter, the legs ain't gonna be there, bro. I think it's a mismatch. If you really break it down and look at it from that angle, bro, it could be a mismatch. And maybe that's why he's taking it, because he wants to actually, it's a personal fight. Like, yeah, I never liked you anyway, so I'm putting him in a situation where he kind of in a, just, you know, he in the back seat. I gotta drive this.
I was with you into the last comment. I was.
No, I'm just saying, if we're trying if somebody trying to justify it. Gotcha. If you're looking for a reason why he would, probably personal is the only thing I could say as I'm talking it out with you guys right now. Is probably personal, and he looks at it where it's more of an advantage for him because of his style and looking at what I think. If you break it down that way, that's the only way you can analyze it. It's personal, and he has an advantage, and it should be an easy fight. I would pay for it though.
A legend. Just seeing how this, just on the surface, it looks like this is strictly an Al Heyman move. Do you think this is a bad reflection on Spence, or do you think this is a situation where this is like a stay busy fight against a good name, and they feel like they can get the best of both worlds as far as like not only winning the fight, but actually maybe making some money on the business side as well?
I think it's just a stay busy fight, and I'm sure both guys are going to get a good bag. But I was going to ask you a question. I know you didn't want Thurman to be the opponent, but from my perspective and looking at it, Boots just came off a win. Virgil Ortiz and Stanionis is postponed. Crawford just fought Avenija. So who, in your opinion, who was the best option that you thought would have been for Spence? To me, I knew it was going to be Thurman.
Yeah, I did too. It was really the 154 that kind of surprised me. Yeah. To be honest with you, if they're talking April, like they could have pulled Stanionis. They could have pulled Stanionis. To be honest with you, they could have pulled Boots, because that's still 13 weeks. That's still 3 months and some change. That's more than enough time for Boots. And these are all mandatory and belt obligations. So I'm not just pulling names from out of left field. And Blunt mentioned some other names too. He mentioned Batayev. That would have been a good fight. The Jamal James would have been a good fight. But Spence is in a weird spot though, because he essentially got permission for a voluntary, like he couldn't get a voluntary within the division. This is what I'm thinking. This is why they went to 154. He couldn't get a voluntary within the division, right? Because he hasn't had a mandatory in 4 years. His last mandatory was Carlos Ocampo. That was 4 years ago. So the way you get around that is say, hey, except for me taking a voluntary, can I get a fight in the next weight class? And then I have to make a decision 60 days after this fight, after the Thurman fight. So that was definitely a strategic move. Now I'm talking through it, like Blunt just said. I'm talking through it with y'all. I can definitely see why they're fighting at 154, because they wasn't going to grant him a voluntary at 147. They just wasn't going to do it. So now I understand the 154, but at the same time, bro, like they could have got Stanionis or they could have got Boots. I think what they was going to do is Thurman was the biggest name out of all these guys that they could possibly sell on pay-per-view. They can bring up the old beef from 6-7 years ago and try to sell it on pay-per-view. And this is the problem that I be having with, some of the PBC structure. Like, you got this deep-ass roster, and you going to give me Spence, Thurman at 154 when Thurman is ice cold. He's ice cold. Like, I'm a Thurman fan. People know 5 years ago when Thurman was in his prime, I was telling people he would beat Spence 5 years ago. It's not 5 years ago. It's not 5 years ago. Like, this fight's trash. And I'm gonna tell you, and listen, a vlog that I get the prediction spot on. I can tell you who the co-main gonna be right now.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I want to get
hold on.
Legend point too. Get his thoughts.
I know who the co-main event gonna be right now, and I'm gonna say this name, and y'all gonna agree with this because them two gonna make so much money, they can't get a bunch of people on the undercard that's gonna command a bag. So the name they gonna get is Pitbull Cruz. Whenever they need an action fighter and they don't cost that much money, they go get Pitbull Cruz. Think about it. He's been on the last like 2-3 pay-per-views, and he don't make a big bag. I guarantee you he gonna be the co-main.
I was thinking like a Fundora.
Too much bread.
He only had one pay-per-view. I don't think he commanding. He barely $1 million, $2 million guy.
He ain't getting that.
That's what I'm saying. So that's an easy name to slide on there. A name that's
he
within the division.
He might get on there. He might get on there, but it's gonna be a bunch of lower level fighters.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna be fights because again, like Jeff said, it's gonna cost too much.
Yeah, way too.
And
much.
then what are you anticipating making too? So you gotta, when you spend money to make money, you have to anticipate, how much money you're going to make. So that tells you how much you should be spending. So
is this fight in Vegas? Is this fight in Vegas? Is this a Vegas fight
in Texas
Legend?
if they want to make some money?
If they want to make some money, they got to put this in Texas. Is this in Texas or Vegas, Legend?
I didn't see that info yet. Yeah, I gotta go look that up now. I would assume Vegas though. That's just me.
If it's in Vegas, that makes it even more terrible. Because now I know y'all not going to make no money off of it. Because I'm not traveling for Keith Thurman. I know I got a media... Listen, I know I got a media company and all that. And I got an LLC and all that good stuff. I'm not traveling. I'm not spending business expenses to go see ice cold Keith Thurman, man. I refuse. Man, YSM or one of them other dudes can go out there and go cover that, man. I'm not covering that, man. Straight up, man. I'm not covering that, man. Like this be my problem, man. I'm like, we gotta draw the line somewhere. Like, we gotta draw the line somewhere. Like,
can we ask a question? Do we even know if Spence fans travel?
They don't.
So
he's only so, bro. So
it in Texas.
You gotta have it in Texas. And then on top of that, bro, you know the thing that's crazy. I keep hearing Spence is this, pay-per-view, king type dude, and I'm like, bro,
I paid for a few of it, so
I done paid for a few too, but they all been in Texas though.
That's what
they all been in Texas.
Thinking, I'm like now that might cost you from the Thurman side.
Now I will say this though. In April, Texas,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now that's a trip that I've taken. There's a lot more about it than
other reasons why. There's a lot more other reasons why.
A lot of other reasons. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me get these comments real quick. Willie G said, this is a stay busy fight. All it is. So I'm saying it should be free, Willie. It should be free. If it's a stay busy fight, why I gotta pay $80 for a stay busy fight? It's the problem I be having. Clarence McLean said, yo, my Philly brother. Big shout out to you, Clarence. Happy belated birthday to you too, good brother. Willie G said, Showtime fight. Andre Southgate in the building, man. Big shout out to you, bro. Willie G, boxing after dark fight. Bro. If I could pin a comment, bro, I would pin this comment. Can I pin the comment? I think I can. Yeah, I think I did pin it. Conrad Boxing said good evening. Big shout out to you, Conrad. Said salute Andre. Andre said 154 doesn't make sense. The only thing I can think of is Spence trying to fight Charlo after the Zoo fight for Thurman. I don't see why he would fight for no belts. Very odd news to hear. That's the thing. I'm like, if you're gonna do it at 47. At least you can add part of the promotion is all of the belts on the line, despite whether you like the matchup or you don't like the matchup. It's a championship fight. It's something on the line. You know what I'm saying? If Spence loses, he can just go back down to defend his belts.
Look, but weight is a big factor because so if you're going up, that means you're going to be walking around. You're going to come in heavier than 154. So you probably come into that match at on the high end, let's say 168, 166 on the
Who for
high end.
Spence?
Yeah, on the
Spence?
high end.
No, he's
So
coming. He'll
imagine
be above 170. He'll be
you
above. He'll
think
be above 170.
170. I'm trying to give him because he's always been a lean dude. So that's a lot. 170, bro. Because I don't think he's fighting at 170 now.
He
If
walks
he walking,
around it. He walks around at like 85. It's
yeah,
a
bro.
big
I don't
boy.
think he's coming back. That's my point. What you saying
That's
that
the
I
thing.
don't think he's coming back to 147.
That's my point. I'm like, I don't understand this on any level.
Because this tells me it's weight issue, or it gives me an idea that you're thinking about your ability to keep cutting. You know what I'm saying? So
a vlog, but he said years ago he was been done with 47. Everybody knows that he has to go through a process to make 47. We all respect that. I respect that about boxers, and the thing is, when boxers, he's at that age now where
it could be a detriment.
That, yeah, they start moving up in weight because they're having. It's just the older you get, the harder it is to cut that weight because the young guys can get them last 3-4 pounds off. When you in your early 30s, mid 30s, it might be that night where you try to cut it and you can't get them last 2-3 pounds off. We've seen this throughout boxing history.
And if you do, what detriment will it do to you inside the ring too? You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I think it is it. Yeah. It might be it.
All right, listen. In Southgate, to answer your question, if Spence and Charlo didn't have the same trainer, then I would 100% agree with your assessment. But I just don't see Spence and Charlo ever fighting because I don't
think they is, bro. That has nothing to do with it. Business is business, and that trainer knows that.
Yeah, but the thing about that is, think about this. Al Heyman ain't gonna force that fight. He not gonna force that fight. He not gonna force no Spence versus Charlo.
No,
he not gonna force
what I'm trying to tell you is he will sell it to people. You telling me he won't sell it to you?
I got a question. Legend, I'm gonna start with you first. Spence fights Charlo. Who is Derek James training? He got to pick one. Damn, that's a Twitter question.
I'm going with Charlo, man.
That's a Twitter question, bro.
I'm going with Charlo.
Charlo
got 4 belts, right?
He leaving Spence on the shelf?
Yeah, man, Spence leaving himself on the shelf, bro. Man, take the fight. It's undisputed. What's the problem, bro? This is legacy, bro. You got money. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you still make money in that fight, bro. To me, I heard that comment earlier, dudes questioning their confidence. I'm seeing that being a part of it. It could be from weight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, it's just hard. And then if I go through all that and I fuck around and lose, legacy matters. So maybe it's time to start wiggling and making different moves. What Jeff said makes sense. I can still hold on to these belts and hold the division up to a certain extent if I feel different at 154. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's going through maybe a physical thing. Again, we could bring in the pride situation as far as like, oh, okay, perfect opportunity to stomp on a dude I never liked anyway. Whoop-de-whoop. So it's just but it's holding up the sport, bro. You like what he going through. This Ferris wheel is holding up the sport in my estimation, and I
to be honest with you, bro,
it's too easy to me. I don't see nothing that Thurman can do. He don't have no power. He's not gonna crack Spence like Ugas did and get his mouthpiece out. I don't ever foresee that happening in this Thurman fight. So
the thing about it is, Thurman's not a small 47 either, you know, because he was fighting in the
powerful
50s.
47 either.
Pre-injury Thurman was cracking. Now after the injuries, it ain't been the same. It is what it is. A lot of people were quoting the old Thurman as if y'all seen this in the Barrios fight. Y'all ain't see this in the Barrios fight. Like he moved and he boxed. He did what he had to do. The old Thurman, he gets Barrios up out of there, bro.
That's
he gets
my
him
point.
up out of there.
Why are you moving on Barrios? You're the bigger, more solid guy. Why are you advancing and putting the foot on Barrios, the smaller guy coming up? Whoop-de-whoop. That again, that's not gonna bode well in this fight at a higher weight. The movement is we talking this a year, another year on them legs. So, bro, trust, man, it's gonna be a lopsided fight to me.
Willie G said Lubin. Lubin will be a good option for Lubin.
That's what I said. Remember when I was saying, well, I don't know if you was in Legend. I was saying, like, I think they could run him on a 154 pay-per-view run. Getting just a bunch of 3-4 fights at 154 pay-per-view that have no belts on the line, because let's just say the belts get continually caught up by Charlo. You know what I'm saying? That being said, Charlo could probably want to move up. So that could be another reason. Like, these guys are finding out, okay, this weight is starting to catch up. Let's pass the baton. Let's keep it in-house. This could be a game plan with PBC, with the whole, team. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Big Charlo been talking about going to 168. So
what a question, y'all. If Spence and Boots is on pay-per-view, what numbers do you think that do? Just give me a ballpark.
Spence and Boots.
I think it do numbers, man. I think it do good numbers.
Good numbers.
I think it do.
Can it do 350?
I was going to say 300. I was going to say 300.
What you thinking,
that's decent.
I would go a little higher, man. I would say maybe. I would say maybe 450.
450. So we talk between 350 and 450. That's great. Yeah. So let me throw this out here. With that being the case, matter of fact, let me run through these comments and then I'm gonna get to my question. Chris G, my boxing son in the building. What's going on, brother? He said, "Why the fuck is this at 154 now? Spencer's gonna be even more drained at 147 if the undisputed fight happens." I agree. DM3, what's going on, bro? Big shout out to you. It's been a minute, bro. Will Stokes, said, "What's good?" He said, "Wonder if Spence would consider the Boots fight more after that last performance. Definitely revealed some holes in his game." I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Hey, no, we're gonna get to that right now. Let's get to that right now.
Hold on. Let me before I'm gonna let you go. I'm just gonna add this one thing because I don't know. I know you've been in the streets today. I don't know how much you've been in the streets today. It's on record. Bozy, Boots, and Rob Acosta said it's work that need to be done. I just want to put that out there before you make your splash. Go ahead.
When you come from a humble base the way that fighter is, the whole team runs that sort of scenario of, they're not going to press. That's for me. I'm going to do that. Let them dudes do what they do. Let's continue boxing. Let's continue training. Let's continue being the non-hyphy guys of boxing. Let's be the humble champs that we are. Let's humble pound for pound. Off the radar pound for pound because nobody's respecting it. What I'm not understanding is from just that comment, why are you not talking about that garbage ass dance partner that was in there? Why are you talking about that guy that came in there with no game plan to try to win? That tells me y'all bet the house on surviving against Boots. I don't like that. That takes away from the sport too. If you don't even come into the ring with the mindset of, it is what it is. I signed up for this, bro. That I need to hear more bashing of that dude. Why you get on a plane to come over here and do that? You could be home and did that bullshit, bro.
I will now, vlog. I will agree with that. It will. I will, and I'll say this as well. The things that you're probably talking about that I guess what everybody else is talking about is him cutting off the ring. He don't have to worry about that against Spence. Spence ain't going nowhere. Spence is not moving anywhere. Only thing Spence doing is moving forward. So that hole that everyone's talking about, which listen, it's hard to nitpick a 120, 108. It's hard to nitpick a 120, 108. But like I said, when you're fighting a guy like that, that is very difficult to deal
That's like
with
saying
without leaving yourself open.
that's like saying you bashing a guy that fights, a guy that ties up, a guy that's in there, doing the little low blows and the heads and all of it, all the extra stuff that comes into boxing. If he fought that guy and it was an ugly fight, y'all still blaming Boots? Oh, Boots got to work on. Boots got to work on. Like, come on, bro. When does it happen that if your dance partner stepping on your toes, does that make you a bad dancer? That's not my fucking fault. That's not Boots' fault. Dude didn't come to fight.
Vlog. I do need for you to give me this though.
No,
he could have cut
off.
He could have cut off.
He don't have to cut off nothing. Dude should have came to fight, and he wouldn't have to go through all of that.
You have never got.
Get yourself knocked out. Stop running. Get off your bicycle.
Vlog, you've never got on this camera and not gave it 100 on a fighter. You're not giving it 100 on this dude. You're not. Come on, Vlog. You can at least tell me off camera. Can you tell me off camera?
I'm not telling you.
Can you tell me off camera at least?
Boots,
can we have a conversation off camera?
Hey, let me say something, man.
All right, go ahead, Vlog. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know a rematch probably won't happen, with Boots and Karen, but I like that. I like what Shane said, when Wilder and Fury fought. Fury came in the second time a completely different guy. And I mean, Wilder, he came in there and just, pummeled Wilder, the second fight. So let's just say Boots had a rematch with this guy, and this guy came in there with a totally different game plan. I'm not, that was just me speculating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
What game plan would this dude come in with the second time?
Yeah, I was just throwing that out there. Let's just say
I think the second. No, hold on, lad. I'm gonna go with this for a second. If he rematched Boots, their bet time would be under 3. We going out under 3. They bet on them going the distance based on that bicycle keeping air in the tire, then keeping the gears lubed up.
You know what? I would have. You know what I think they should have did, bro. And I know this is hindsight. And I'm saying that in advance because I didn't see this watching the tape. Would y'all agree that this dude Karen should have fought Rashidi Ellis, and Villa should have fought Boots because Villa would have gave him a much better matchup. He wouldn't have been running. I'll tell you that.
Can I say this?
Mm-hmm.
That dude, Karen, that's his name, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
That should be his name, Karen, because he fought like a Karen. He should not be on any boxing cards on anybody's television for the near future after that performance.
So I agree. But
him matching up against anybody else, bro. Don't tell me you're going to fight different because you're less scared of somebody else. If you're scared, bro, don't get in there.
Bro, I'm gonna say this. Like I said, not only did I watch tape, but I asked other people that was familiar with him. Nobody seen that out this dude, which is credit to Boots. Because if a dude is gonna make you do that, the reason I asked that question is if he fights Rashidi, he probably fights more like himself. He probably don't see that.
That's not my problem. Don't rain on Boots parade because this dude fought outside of himself. That's not Boots' fault. Well, again, that is Boots' fault. So don't be mad at Boots for that being his fault.
No, and that's the thing. That's why I was like, do I think people are being harsh on Boots? Yes, I do.
And there's one more dude I gotta chime in on real quick, Jeff. Mm-hmm. This dude Blair Cobbs had the nerve to comment, whether it was one time, whether it was just a react from him. He should be the last dude to speak about Boots. After that performance against Rocha, don't say nothing about nobody else. Continue.
Hold on, he did beat your guy though. He did come back and get a dub though.
Man, you gotta put them together, bro. I need them put together, bro. I need consecutiveness. Don't come out here all big mouth and brash, and then you trying to critique the best in the business. Like, come on, my dude. That's like being a sugar cook trying to critique Chef Ramsay. Like, just stop, bro. Just stop, bro.
Yo, that's funny. I like the thing that's crazy, man, is just I think Boots' opponent is not getting enough criticism for how he fought, and I will say that in combination with and I think there's another thing that needs to be said. Even if Boots cuts off the ring better than he did in that fight, there's a chance he still doesn't get him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's just I feel like when people have 120, 108s and they kind of just dominate every single round, people don't want to walk out of a fight and be like, homeboy just did a virtuoso. Like he did absolutely nothing wrong in that fight. And I think people just really just look for something to find. And I think Boots is on that level. When you reach that level, when you're a upper echelon guy, or you're being portrayed as the guy, people are gonna find the smallest little things to go on. I mean, listen, even with like take like a Berlanga. When Berlanga went on his knockout streak, people wasn't talking about, yo, he's one of the biggest punches I ever seen. People was like, yo, I want to see him get out the first round and see what he do. People are gonna, when you reach that level, people are gonna always find something. They move the bar. Like that's just what it is. Like they move the bar. Like Legend can do his podcast once a week for a year, and he's absolutely killing it. Some hater's gonna come out and be like, well, he don't do it 2 times a week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always gonna be something. Like they're gonna move the bar. So that's the one thing that Boots needs to understand. He's not gonna run into too many guys like that. Because I think they're gonna be more careful on who they put Boots in the ring with, because that was a prime opportunity for him to look spectacular, and they picked the wrong opponent. They picked somebody that was gonna be on their bicycle. They could have picked they picked Villa to fight Boots. Villa's right there. He probably gets Villa up out of there in about 4 or 5. Because he gonna be right there. He gets a spectacular knockout. You probably looking at Boots headline in the pay-per-view. Now Boots probably is gonna have to co-main another one.
That's where I'm saying they picked the right guy based on what you said you saw. So they saw the same thing.
Agreed. So I seen on tape. I didn't see that.
That's my point. That guy should be getting the flack. Karan, whatever his name is, bro. He should be getting the flack. Get off Boots' neck, man. Y'all leave Boots alone. Y'all wasn't bothered with Boots before this fight. Now all of a sudden everybody want to have Boots' name in their mouth. No, have Spence name in y'all mouth for not fighting Boots before this point, for not fighting Stan Jonas, for not fighting Crawford. Let's have that name in your mouth. Get Boots' name out your mouth. Stay off Boots' radar. You wasn't on his radar before. Don't get on it now. That's all I got to say. I got to get ready to go, bro, because I got.
All right, go ahead, do your thing, bro.
Being there with you, you know how we do. Y'all fellas continue to chat. I'm gonna continue listening, though.
All right, good looking, bro. That was a Boxing First vlog, aka Jerron Boots and his biggest fan. Oh man. Andre Southgate said Thurman has been ice cold for a while. Keith, 1 fight a year. Thurman. Yeah, bro.
Man, so let me ask you, man. You don't think I know Barrios moved up in weight, and to me, Keith Thurman looked spectacular against Barrios. Like, you know, Barrios' nose was messed up real bad. His face was messed up. So I know that's not enough to say he deserves a fight against Spence, but he looked good. Like I said, he looked good against Barrios, bro.
Yeah, so here's the thing, and it's like that's why PBC be pissing me off. Like that fight was on pay-per-view. Like it just they can't give me one pay-per-view and I just be like, all right, that's solid. Like it's always got to be something. And
Right.
it took away from Thurman's performance because Thurman in the Barrios fight, Thurman gave you that's probably the best you're gonna see Thurman right now. Post injuries, post layoffs, things like that. That's probably the best you're gonna see Keith Thurman moving around the ring. He's definitely not a light puncher. Like, let's get that out the way. He's definitely not a light puncher. But is he one time Thurman? Like you hit him with one shot and he's out of there? Like, nah, that's not, that's not Thurman anymore. You know what I'm saying? But do I think he'll do well against Spence if his legs is not shot? I think he can give Spence a lot of angles. I think he can give him a lot of problems. Because we haven't seen Spence have to chase down anybody for a minute. So if you go back, Ugas stood there with him. Danny stood there with him. Sean stood there with him. Who else he had? I'm going back, but Ocampo stood with him. Mikey stood with him. Who else? That's 5 right there. When is the last time he faced a mover? Somebody that's
What
gonna
about
move.
Chris Aguilera? Is that his name? Did he move? I think he made a move a little. I can't remember.
You talking about Algieri? Chris Algieri?
Yeah, Algieri.
Yeah. He moved a little bit, but that was about 7 years ago. About 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, so, Spence got some brutal knockdowns with him though. So
yeah. He got some brutal joints with him. But Spence hasn't fought a mover in a long time. It's been a couple years. Matter of fact, you know what, bro? We got time. Fuck it. We're gonna bring up Spence box rec. Why not?
And I feel that Keith Thurman gonna move. Keith Thurman ain't gonna
he's definitely gonna move for sure.
But since he's older and he's moving up to 154, that gives me concerns. Like you're saying, his legs might not be the same.
Yeah, it's a concern. It's a concern like both ways, man. Like it's a concern both ways. So this is Spence box rec. We just gonna go through it real quick. He fought Ugas. Ugas stood in front of him. Danny stood in front of him. Porter stood in front of him. Mikey stood in front of him. Ocampo stood in front of him. Lamont Peterson stood in front of him. Kell Brook stood in front of him. Bundu stood in front of him. This is the name that legend mentioned, y'all. Chris Algieri. That was April 16th, 2016, bro.
So it's been a minute.
That's almost 7 years. Yeah, that's almost 7 years. He hasn't faced a mover in a long time. So if Thurman is anywhere near the old Thurman in terms of his legs, because he's one of the best at moving and getting his offense off. Prime Thurman. If he's anything like that, this fight is going to be a lot more competitive than what people think. And people think like, oh, well, Spence is just going to go in, throw a couple body shots, and Thurman is just going to curl and fall. Thurman is very vulnerable to the body, but he's never taken a knee off of a body shot. He's never taken a knee off of a body shot. He's never been knocked down on a body shot. He's just been visibly hurt on a body shot, but he has survival skills. He gets himself out of jams. Not every fighter can do that. So this could, as much as I don't like this fight, this could get interesting.
Yeah.
This could get interesting. Style-wise, it can get interesting in 54, but I'm not buying. I'll tell you that much. I'm not. And
something that crossed my mind, and this is just me throwing this out there. We know Spence looked big when he was talking to Brian Custer, when he was at the Frank Martin Michelle Rivera fight, and this has just crossed my mind. Suppose that car accident, yes, he's okay and everything, but suppose he's not 100% okay. Maybe he just can't train he should be training, and maybe he can't be at 147. He can't really make that weight, so maybe he's not training as hard. So that's why they have it at 154. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's just something that crossed my mind, man.
No, it's a valid point because I mean, if you see him at, you know, if you seen him at that fight, he looked every bit of in the 70s.
Yeah,
he looked every bit in the 70s, and I'm being nice with the 70s because he had the right after the weigh-in outfit. That joint look real snug on him. Straight up.
Since they announced his fight, man, that picture's all over social media.
Yeah,
man.
hell yeah. Like that's why you got to factor these things in because I'm like, if he knows he's at a certain weight, he's gonna have a problem getting down. Wouldn't that factor into negotiations with another fighter? Bud. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can't act like these dudes like Thurman. I mean, Spence has been making 147 since basically the beginning of his professional career. He said 3 years ago that he was done at 147. Like it's just hard making the weight. And he's probably outgrown the weight probably 2-3 years ago. But we've seen fighters stay at a weight for too long. You know what I'm saying? It's like when your body starts talking to you, you gotta listen. That happened with James Toney. He stayed at 60 for too long. When he fought Roy, he was just done. They said he was like 180, 83 or 84 for that fight against Roy, and that was a 160 fight. Like he gained like 20-something pounds overnight, and that's rare like back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Willie G, co-main gonna be Fundora. I think Vlog said that earlier. I can see that happening. Will Stokes, Keith, one fight a decade, Thurman. That's funny. Andre Southgate laughing. Will Stokes literally only fought once this decade. Seriously. Like, for sure. Andre Southgate, surely the fight is in Texas. Don't see it doing well in Vegas. I don't see it doing well in Vegas either. That fight got to be in Texas. It got to be in Texas. Like Keith Thurman already took the fight at a different weight class with no belts on the line. So obviously for Keith Thurman, he just wants the fight. So I can't imagine this fight not being in Texas. Right. I'm like, you already got the weight class. He's not getting a shot at your belts. Shit, you might as well make it a road game for him too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At least you can guarantee a sellout. Yeah. I don't think they're selling out. I don't think they're selling out Vegas.
Yeah, and I want to throw in there, Spence, even like when he fought Porter, at the press conference and stuff, he looked a lot bigger compared to Porter, man. Like, weight wise, he looked a lot bigger. So
imagine how big he gonna look going into a fight, and he only got to get to 154.
Yeah,
please, he gonna look huge. He gonna look huge. Willie G, that fight won't happen. Think both Charlos moving up. I don't think Jermell is moving up. He got too much leverage at 54 with them belts. And I've never heard about him struggling to make weight. Because you got to think about it. What is Jermell going to do at 60? It's nothing for him at 60. Like, Maul is at 60 and he can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to stay right where he at. Willie G said 300,000. Fair number, 300,000 buys. Willie G, don't talk about Vlog's guy like that. Man, I don't give a damn what Vlog be talking about, man. Like me and Vlog argue on camera and off camera. That's just he is the head of Boots fan club. He's taking donations, all that for sure. Andre Southgate depends on the undercard. I want to see Crawford versus Spence first. That fight can't drag on for too long. I don't see it happening, bro. I don't see it happening. I think what's going to happen is the fix already in, bro. The fix is already in. They're gonna fight at 54. Spence is gonna say he felt amazing at 54, and if he don't get the terms that he won against Crawford, then he gonna be like he dropping the belts and he moving up. And then they can still run off Spence, Tony Harrison pay-per-view. They can run off a Spence Hurd pay-per-view or Spence Lubin pay-per-view with no belts, and people still going to buy. People still going to buy. Then everybody gonna say Bud is ducking boots since Spence is out of the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I already see that coming. I just don't see this fight happening, bro. I hope it does, but people got to factor in. I'm like, Bud is almost 35, if not 35. You know what I'm saying? So he's getting up there in age too. I think he got a good maybe 3 fights left. Prime Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
you're gonna start to see the decline with that too. Andre said if Karen runs it back, the game plan will be hold and take a knee if he wants to exchange with Boots. I just Karen, he be doing too much, bro. Boots won clearly in the Karen fight, no rematch is needed. Yeah, I mean I agree, but the thing is with Boots, damn with Vlog talking about he need to cut the ring off. You shouldn't be 30 fights in and you just let a dude run all night. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely not. You know what I mean? Will Stokes said, listen, I'm a big fan of Boots, and I get that it's hard to stop guys like that, but it's not impossible. The fact he didn't even come close to hurting him once showed holes, bro. Now he did hurt him once in that fight. He hit him with a body shot, and then Karen almost buckled. He almost buckled, but the camera was on the other side, so he was like squatting down like he had the bubble guts for a couple of seconds. Then he started roaming around the ring and shit. Like, he did hurt him once to the body though. Willie G, what happened? Vlog left because we started talking about Boots not cutting off the ring. Nah, I could defend him on that. He said he couldn't stay on for too long, but he would have went off if I'd have kept on going about Boots. He'd have went snapping, bro.
Yeah.
Will Stokes said only a chance to get better is no hate. No, and that's what we talking about. Like, it's just you can't see a fight like that, and then he goes into a Bud fight, and Bud gives him that movement. He's gonna have way more problems with Bud than he. Of course, he's not gonna fight like Karen because Bud is gonna be moving and throwing shots at the same time. Like, he's gonna have Bud. He gonna have Boots running into shit. Not saying that Boots can't win that fight, but he's gonna be running into shit. L Dub the plug in the building. Big shout out to you. He said Leonard Bundu. Yeah, that might have been the last fight he fought a mover, and that was what 2015. That was when was that? That was Bundu that was 2016. That was right after the Algeria fight.
And that's like then Bandu didn't like his leg like twist and he fell back. That was terrible.
Yeah, that John was his leg.
Spence is excited, man. He's like, "Where's my strap? Where's my strap?"
Yeah, his leg looked like a V. Like, I was like, God damn, like, it was crazy. Southgate said Boots is trying to get him out and he couldn't. That's true. He couldn't cut off the ring, but I agree with G5. It won't matter versus Spence. Spence is aggressive, will come forward. Yeah, that cutting off the ring means absolutely nothing if he fights Spence. Absolutely nothing. Andre said Thurman may benefit at 154 to come in lighter than Spence and move. Just depends how much shots he can take from Spence. Spence is very accurate puncher, though. True, but Spence hasn't dealt with angles in a minute. He hasn't dealt with angles in a minute. Last time somebody actually gave him angles was actually Porter. And you could make the argument he lost that fight. Even though Porter was right in his wheelhouse, he was giving him angles crazy.
Yeah.
He was giving him angles crazy. He was turning Spence most of the first half of the fight. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Here this dude go. Boxing First Vlog. Hey, stop that Boots bashing. You all doing? Ain't nobody bashing that nigga, man. Like,
yeah. Well, I got a question, man. Since Bill beat Rashidi, I was saying something where he was saying for Rashidi, you know, they can run it back if you want, you know what I mean? But I don't think Rashidi would take that fight with him again. But do you think it's possible that, you know, Boots and Bill could possibly happen?
Yeah, I think that can definitely happen. To be honest with you, I think it should happen. and keep it all the way stacked. That should be the co-main event on Spence Thurman. If
Yeah,
they
that's
really, if they really trying to line things up and they really trying to get Boots that type of limelight, um, it should be Spence, Thurman, and then Boots and Via is the co-main event. And I
yeah,
think people will, at least you're going to get that Philly, Jersey crowd, you know,
yeah,
out there, for Boots. Because Boots got a lot of fans.
yeah,
Now, paying fans, that's something different. But he got a lot of, he
yeah,
got a lot of fans. So I think they need to make that happen. But I think Villa and Boots, I think that's a good fight. Villa's
yeah,
gonna bring the fight. And he got some pop.
yeah, got
He
some
got
power,
some
yeah,
pop. Yeah, he
yeah,
got some pop. So it's like Boots, he's not gonna get Bud right now. He's not gonna get Spence right now. So why not put him on Spence undercard, keep his name relevant, and put him up against a power puncher that's not gonna move like that, so people can really see what the talk been about. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah, man. I know some people were saying like Via has a style like Madonna, but I didn't see it. He's not wild enough to be like a Madonna, but I guess they
yeah,
were just trying to say that because of like of his power and everything. But he don't move like a Madonna. He's way more slower than Madonna to me.
yeah, my dad. See the thing about Chino, like people was like, oh, well, he's slow. But the thing about Chino had weird punch angles,
Yep.
but he had good velocity on him though.
Yeah.
Like he might give you like a straight 1-2, and then you just see some chopping
Yeah.
joint like
Like
this,
like like a
like
down cut.
yeah, like a down cut. Like I'm like, what the
Yeah.
hell is that?
Yeah, like
Like
that's why they probably ran that back with Floyd because he was doing like a lot of that in that the first half of the fight,
he
all
was
that
dogging.
down.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
dogging Floyd. He was dogging
yeah,
Floyd first half of the fight because it's just there's no traditional defense for that. Like if you
yeah,
have the reason that's why Broner lost the Maidana because everything Broner does defensively is scripted. Like it's this bunch of all that,
yeah,
and
yeah,
all of it's scripted. He's not visually seeing the shot. But
right,
see, Chino Maidana was sneaky with it too because the knockdown that he got on Broner in the second round, I'm like, that's one of the most beautiful shots you're gonna like. It takes skill to land that shot. Like he made it look like he was gonna throw a hook to the body and threw a leaping left hook to the head and had Broner hands completely down there, his belt
yeah,
buckle. Like it was crazy.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
That
Like,
Broner dancing, man.
yeah, V is not doing that. Like
Right,
V is
right,
not doing
yeah,
that. He's just a solid basic fighter,
yeah,
basic skills, and he just goes in and just does his work. He tries to land his power shots. But if you're going to try to build Boots into this pay-per-view guy, you have to put him up against guys like Villa.
right,
That's gonna he Boots just need to keep doing what he's doing, but just in front of bigger crowds.
yeah.
That's all.
I just threw that out there because they were building up Boots and Rashidi, but Rashidi lost, man. Like, and I'm still out of all the fights on that card, man. I'm still upset with Rashidi out of the most, man. Like I
I
said,
look,
man, he did his thing round 1 to 11. Like to me, if he just ran that whole 12 round, I would have been cool. But like I said, he avoided this dude's power for 11 rounds, but the 12th round comes, he just gets clipped. Like I'm just
yeah,
upset with it, man.
yeah. That's why. But see, that's why I don't think he was on here, but I was on here with Vlog and Shane, and we was kind of going back and forth about it. That's why I wanted them to actually score the fight,
Mhm.
because they saying like, oh, well, was Rashidi running? Was he doing this? Was he doing that? I'm like, it's hard to have that conversation if you didn't score the fight. Like, I'm like, Rashidi won at a minimum, I would say 9 rounds. I would say 8 to 9 rounds out of that fight. You could have had an 8-4 Rashidi with the knockdowns, 9-3 Rashidi with the knockdowns. Like, so I think I had a 9-3 Rashidi with the knockdowns. I still didn't have it. He needed a knockout to win,
Yeah,
not knockdowns. He needed a knockout to win that fight against Rashidi. I felt like Rashidi got robbed.
yes,
To be honest with you, even if they did Boots and Rashidi right now, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it because I'm not looking at it like Rashidi got dominated. this, that, and the third. I'm like,
Yeah.
just because he got knocked down twice, it's a 10-point must system. If you dominate most of the fight and you only lost 2 or 3 rounds and you get knocked down twice, you still win the fight. This is still
Facts.
basic math. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This
Yeah.
is
So
basic math.
that's why I said if I was a Rashidi, like Via was saying, he could run, they can run it back. But if I was Rashidi, I wouldn't take the rematch, man. I wouldn't. Just me.
Yeah, I would keep it. Me personally, I would keep it moving. I would keep
Yeah.
it moving. People might think like Rashidi got to run it back. And that was Rashidi's first 12-round fight. But I think he clearly won the fight. Now, if he want to run it back because he got knocked down twice, okay, cool. But I'm like, if you got knocked down twice, I'm like, there's a chance you're gonna get knocked down a third and a fourth time too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you might end up with the same result. And the problem I got with Rashidi, Rashidi don't sit down on too many shots, bro.
Mm.
He don't sit
Yeah.
down on the
Like,
shots.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah. He's
everything.
not. Yeah. He's not like a power puncher to me, man. I know he's got like 14 KOs. I mean, that's decent, but he didn't have enough power to hurt Via, man.
Yeah, he's and I think a lot of it is just mentality. When your opponent knows that you're gonna be on the move, like it's mentally you're not, putting yourself in a position to say, hey, listen, this is how this round gonna go. This next 3 minutes is gonna go like this. I don't think Rashidi ever did that in the fight, but I think he still won the fight. Like I think it was a bunch of da 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 and just
Yeah.
move, da da
Yeah.
da move, like just just
Yeah.
machine
Just
gun
like.
move,
Yeah,
machine
it's right.
gun move,
Yeah,
like
just to me, it's pity pat and stuff, man. What he was
yeah.
doing, man. But
He was doing a lot, but see, I understood where Vlog and Shane was coming from. They was like, "Yo, like, was he sitting down on the shots? Was it a bunch of pity pat stuff?" I'm not saying that Rashidi won all them rounds because he was just dominating. What I'm saying is Sheedy just got more shots off, and Villa really ain't do nothing. He
right,
was applying pressure, but he wasn't doing nothing.
yeah,
He
he
wasn't
wasn't doing
landing
much at
any.
all.
Yeah,
Right,
he wasn't
facts.
landing anything significant. Like, so
Right,
it's just even if you want to say Rashidi won them rounds by default, I'm cool with that. But at the end of the day, I don't care how weak of a puncher you are or you don't have elite power. That's what made guys like Andre Ward, guys that wasn't really known for their power like that. Floyd, later on in his career, he wasn't known for his power like that. Like, they drew that line in the sand and they like, yo, if you get to this line, I'm gonna whip your ass. We gonna stand right here and I'm gonna whip your ass. Like, they made, and it's a mental thing. Like, it's a mental thing. If you tell somebody they gotta pay at the front door, that's a whole different ball game. If it's a free party, they walking
yeah,
right in. They
yeah,
walking right in. Rashidi never sat down on any shots and said, Via, if you cross this line, you want to pay this fee when you walk in this door. And I don't think he ever did that. I don't think Via thought in his mind, like, damn, I don't know what's going to be behind this door, man. Like, he
right,
never, when you facing an aggressive guy like that, a power puncher, you win the fight by making that power puncher think before they react.
yeah,
Make them think before they react. And that's what Rashidi didn't do. Rashidi can go back to the drawing board. There's a lot that he could learn from the fight. But listen, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I know it's not gonna happen because I think he's across the street. Rashidi and the Blair Cobbs would be a good fight.
yeah,
Rashidi and the Blair Cobbs would be a good fight. Give Boots Via, put him on the Spence undercard. I think that's probably one of the only ways people are gonna actually get that pay-per-view. They got to put somebody like a Boots or somebody on that pay-per-view to get people to,
right, yeah,
people's not buying it. People not buying into that Spence Thurman bullshit. Because it's like, why do we have to pay for it
right,
when the man that's fighting don't even want to fight Thurman? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you asking me to pay for it when he don't even want to fight?
yeah. This has been PBC for you for the longest time, though, man.
Bro,
All 2022, we had these pay-per-views. Nobody really wanted. So,
I mean, it's like I said, they like boxing as a whole it got a nice January lined up. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, they could have that pay-per-view on the 7th. They could have split that. They could have split that.
yeah,
They could have split that and made them free cards, bro. They could have split that and made them free cards. And if you was going to put Spence in April or whatever, that could have been the first real pay-per-view. You know what I mean? They could have did something with that, man. But it's hard. And if it wasn't for the Rashidi Ellis upset, people would have said that card was trash.
Yeah.
They would have said that card was trash. They'd have been like the Andre fight was trash. The Rashidi Ellis fight was trash because he won. All the favorites won.
Yeah, that was. I'll tell you one thing, man. That was a long night of boxing, man. But Tank closed the show with the stoppage, man. That was a long night, man. 4.5 hours straight, bro.
Bro, and you got there at 8:30.
Yep.
If you would have got there when the prelim started, nigga, you'd have been.
Yeah, I probably walked out, man.
Yeah,
got some air or something, man.
Yeah, you'd have needed a small loan or something to pay your girl food and everything else, man. That shit would have been crazy. Like that's what people don't be understanding. I'm like, a lot of these boxing cards be 10 fights, 11, 12 fights. It's just facts, the cameras is only on for like 4 fights. Facts, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. It's crazy, man. We're gonna close this thing out, man. Hour 40 minutes. Strong. I mean, we got Spence Thurman 154. You know, definitely let us know how y'all if you like that fight or not. Legend, give me your social media so we can get up out of here, good brother.
Yeah, TikTok, the Legend 3347, IG, same, the Legend 3347, Facebook, I'm on Todd Finney. Episode 15 gonna come soon, man. I'm not sure. It may be tomorrow, maybe Friday. I don't know, man. But I'm definitely gonna do episode soon because one of the ladies that went to the fight with me, she want to jump on and talk about her experience at the card. So trying to make that happen, man. So stay tuned.
Hey man, stay tuned. And Legend got one of the best, you know what I'm saying, like podcasts going right now, man. So y'all definitely need to tap in with him for sure. Follow Boxing First Vlog on Instagram is boxing the #1 ST vlog. And it's boxing vlog on Twitter. Shane, you can follow him on Instagram at I_am Shane the #1. You can follow me all over the place, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything G5 Jeff TV. And we ain't happy. Like we not happy. We don't like Spence Thurman at 154, man. But y'all continue to leave comments under this live, man, and let us know what y'all think. Get at us on social media. Let us know what y'all think, man. And we'll be back probably Friday. We'll be back on. We'll probably do a preview for the Top Rank card that's going down Saturday. So on behalf of VP Shane, Boxing First Vlog, Todd Finney, aka the Legend, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, man. It was episode 154 of the Goodfellas podcast. We are out.